What's going on, guys? It's All Things Sports back at it here again. Today, I'm going to be talking about Clemson a little further in depth. We're going to focus in on, as you can see by the title, Cade Klubnik, and why I do believe that he will be the 2025 Heisman winner. And I know I've said before I'm a Clemson fan, but this has nothing to do with that. Just because we're good right now and we have one of the best quarterbacks in the nation doesn't mean it's not going to be rough next year. We're going to have to move on from a lot of guys. So I'm going to take advantage while I can at hyping up my team and just talking about why I think, and even the stats say, that Cade Klubnik is the best quarterback in NCAA football currently. So we're going to take a look at the odds. Arch Manning is the most favored person to win the Heisman, then Cade, then Garrett Nussmeier, Jeremiah Smith, Ty Simpson just got announced as the starter today as I'm filming this, so his odds must have rose a little bit. But this isn't a bold prediction at all. Like it just said, he's the tied second favorite to win the Heisman. He had a fantastic 2024 year with 3,600 yards, 36 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. The 12th best QBR in the nation, and this is not even talking about what he did with his legs. But I have seen him develop over the past 2 years. Obviously, being a Clemson fan, I've gotten to see him develop more than most people. So, one thing I do want to touch on is just the steady growth from him. Really, the only thing that isn't there for him is his footwork could use a little work. I'm not a professional quarterback, but that's what I've seen most of the people say. And like making a heavy adjusted throw, he was rated low in compared to all the other stats that he excelled in. But you look over here on the ground, he had 460 yards, 7 touchdowns as well. We see him perform in the ending game against Texas, against one of the best defenses, the best secondary in the nation. Season on the line. I know we ended up losing that game, but he didn't really stop throughout that whole game. And even when we were down, he kept going, and that just made me really excited for this year because I had a strong feeling that he would be coming back. Um, Honestly, after this first Georgia game loss, we saw a real progression from him throughout the year, just steady on the gas, making plays, hands, feet, whatever he needed to do. He was putting his body on the line for the team. Probably took a few too many hits that I didn't want to see him take. There was one game, I'm not sure if it was against Wake or V Tech, that he got a little shaken up, got hit in the head. I think it was Virginia actually. That I didn't like too much, but we have an even more experienced offensive line than we did last year with, I think, 5 of the 6 top guys returning. So that is great. I think that that'll give him even more time so he won't have to make those adjusted body throws. And even when he does, I think the experience is just going to kick in. I saw a video of him from practice the other day. The footwork looks great. And I'm very excited for this upcoming season. But I'm going to touch on a few key factors as to why I think he will be the Heisman winner. And as you see in the top of my screen right now, I have 6 tabs open. 6 tabs on all the guys that he will be throwing the ball to. This is excluding running backs. This is strictly wide receivers. And the first person I want to touch on is Tyler Brown himself. A lot of people forget that this was our leading receiver in a 23 year. Him and Cade already have the chemistry built. He was the best receiver on the team when Antonio Williams was out for the year. Only a sophomore, but coming back into a team, and I think 185 is wrong. I think he put on a little more muscle. Uh, he was hurt all last year. Pretty sure he got the red shirt confirmed, so I think that's great for the future. But talking strictly about this season, he's one of those slant guys, kind of like Hunter Renfrow, he reminds me of. But he can go up and get that ball too, so don't let him prove you wrong. But he is a fantastic receiver, really great guy. I expect him to get a lot of touches this year, probably not as much as this 23 year, just because of how stacked this class is. So, excluding Tyler Brown, we also have this guy named T.J. Moore, probably my favorite receiver for Clemson. You see 45 receptions, 651 yards, 5 touchdowns. I just touched on Tyler Brown's leading receiving year being 500 yards, 50 catches. This was our third best receiver last year, and he was also a freshman. I think that speaks for itself that he will excel even more this year, and he's so shifty, man. He's going to be great. I really hope he stays with Clemson after Cade leaves. Hope he's developing chemistry with those guys behind Cade in the depth chart. Just a fantastic receiver. I think he's going to give a lot of people a bunch of problems this year. So we'll move on to the more well known Antonio Williams. 75 receptions, 900 yards. Definitely our best receiver last year. Can go make a play, extremely fast, very explosive. Hit the night celly after the first touchdown on Texas. Hopefully he doesn't regret it. I thought it was hilarious. So excited to see what he can do in his final year at Clemson. It says he's a junior, but I think he redshirted or had an injury year. But if he's a junior, that's fantastic. Stay another year, Antonio. But with the likes of him, Tyler Brown, T.J. Moore, we got more guys coming up. I just think that Cade is going to have so many weapons that it does not matter if Antonio Williams gets locked up. It doesn't matter if Westco gets locked up. Someone is going to get free. The skill in this wide receiver room is so deep that he's just going to have plenty of options to throw to. Bryant Westco, 700 yards as a freshman. Look at the average, 17 yards. 200 more yards than Tyler Brown's leading receiving year from 2 years previous, and this was the second best receiver. So this is just showing Cade's growth and development, and also the guys that he is throwing to get open a lot easier now, just due to the talent level. So sophomore, I think he'll be great. 6'2", 185. I think this will be our downfield threat alongside Tristan Smith, but just another great guy that Cade has to go to. Cole Turner, this is a guy that can go up and get the ball. Stats aren't crazy, but you need a play. You can always rely on this guy, and we saw Cade do it multiple times last year. I think he'll be great for Cade to go to when those top four guys are getting locked up. Tristan Smith, look at his stats, and this was at his previous school. He looked really good in the spring game, and I think he will have a great year. I think eventually down the year, I do think he'll push his way up into that I'll say top four. He is a senior, but he could have another year. Hopefully he does. But if not, hopefully he has a great year this year and goes pro. But with him, you see his stats, they speak for itself. Him and Cade hadn't seen too much out of them two together, but I'm extremely excited. 6'5", 205. This guy can make a play, or he can stand there and catch it over your head. So extremely excited to see what this holds. But other than that, I want to pull up one graphic that really just, this is what kind of pushes me in the direction to where if I was going to place any money, it would be on Cade, just because of the fact from this graphic. So right here, thank you CFP Kings on Instagram for making this graphic. 8 quarterbacks have had a season with 4,100 total yards, 43 touchdowns, and 7 or fewer turnovers in the CFP era. And you have the likes of Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, Marcus Mariota, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, C.J. Stroud, and then Cade from last year. And you got to think, I know this looks a little cherry picked, but look at what it's showing. It showed in your 4,100 total yards, 43 touchdowns, and 7 or fewer turnovers. And if you want to think back to, I mean, just look at this Bo Nix year, for example. He was still third. Jaden Daniels ended up winning, but Cade wasn't even in the top 10 last year. So hopefully there's no narrative towards him or towards Clemson to where they don't want him to win it, because based off these stats, it looks like they were kind of avoiding him last year. But I think this year I think he will 100% be in the top 3 this year. I would put so much on that he'll be in the top 3 with all the weapons that he has, the experience he has, the experience in the receiving room. It's just going to be a absolute shootout. No matter who we are playing, we are going to be scoring the football, and I know that's going to happen through his hands or with his feet. And that doesn't even start to talk about the receiving room, who he can also throw to on some screens. I mean, Keith Adams, explosive. Jarvis Green's explosive. I think he got hurt this summer, though, unfortunately. But you can look at the tape from Texas. He had a nice touchdown against him. Jay Haynes, I think he's still recovering. Adam Randall, ex-receiver, but can also make a play with his feet. So Cade sees him on a screen, throws it to him. He could get 40 yards off of that easily. Big dude, knocks some people over. Cade, 6'2", 210. I think he put on some weight this summer as well. Very excited for this season. And by no means is this me telling you to put your money on Cade Klubnik. I do not promote that at all. I wouldn't promote gambling, especially on this, because you never know what can happen in college football. There's so many injuries. Football is a dangerous sport. But I do want to see Cade have a great season, and I'm super excited that he's on my team. So glad he decided to stay because I know he was getting money thrown his way. So I, for my prediction for the 2025 Heisman, I would put Cade Klubnik as the Heisman favorite, the Heisman winner, just based off his abilities alone and the receiving room that he has. It's almost undeniable at this point. I see him getting over 250 yards a game with ease. I mean, if you want to look at our upcoming schedule, the hardest game will be LSU and South Carolina. And even with LSU, we saw what he did against the best defense in the country last year against Texas. He absolutely exposed them. Against Texas, he had 330 yards, like I said earlier. So, with that being said, going forward, Cade Klubnik is my favorite. Expecting a great season from him. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you disagree. And if you do disagree, who do you have? You have Arch, Garrett, or maybe a sleeper. Who do you have? In the comments below. Do you think Cade's a favorite? Do you think he's top 5, top 3, or top 1? Thank y'all for watching. Peace out.